because Mumbles isn't here this week, i.e. Jamie, i.e. Tony, Stony Lundy. Well, he's here in spirit with his little melatonin or whatever. Yeah. What is mine? Yeah, I'm serotonin. He's melatonin. We talked about that last week, which I haven't posted yet, but it'll get posted hopefully tonight. But we have been working hard on other endeavors, like music, dude. Any fucking who. Where do you want to start? I mean, we already started. I'm just going to be cutting all this shit where we're not talking. Tell you what. Because my beatboxing was sick as fuck. Wait, how did I do it? Brazil. That's my Brazilian beatbox.
You know, I've had these headphones here, these Audio Technica headphones, for
ever,
bro, like over 10 years. Easy. Still working. Still working. Over 10 years. Easy. I've DJ'd with those things. I would take those things fucking everywhere, bro. I used to beat the living fuck out of them. Still work, dude.
Take them to the beach?
Nah.
Smart.
Guess not everywhere.
That's how I've ruined multiple guitars. Is they would turn into my beach guitar. I'd be like, there's a little ding here. Let's just make it the car beach guitar. I'd fucking leave it in my trunk in like 100-degree heat, all fucked up. Not good. Not good.
Not good.
Anyways, where are we going? Conspiracy theories?
Hello, world.
Welcome to Machine
Mammals.
Mammals Wild.
Mammals Wild.
Dude.
Podcast.
Yeah. There's only two of us this week. Tony unfortunately busted his shit up as usual because he broke his back many eons ago.
Few moons back, son.
Yeah.
A few moons back, son.
We're thinking about getting Chewbacca to replace him.
Yeah.
So
I called him.
Yeah.
He was like,
he went, and then he spit out his water, and he was like, "Yes, of course I'll do it." It was pretty cool. He speaks perfect English. They just always had him right after he was brushing his teeth in those movies. That's
crazy.
So ridiculous.
He's gargling.
Him and all the Wookiees. It was They have a class action lawsuit against George Lucas.
Yeah.
Fucking bastards.
That's All
right, so we're starting conspiracy theories now.
Our own
conspiracy theories.
Class action lawsuit against George Lucas.
That's right.
I want to start off by saying, if you were there August 4th at the Shanty Shack, you witnessed a third first show.
Yes.
By the Mammals.
Yes.
By Machine Mammals. That's us. Can't even call ourselves the Mammals.
No, we can't call ourselves the Mammals because there's a band called the Mammals. We are the Machine Mammals.
Yes, we are.
I'm taking these off.
The Machine Camels. Marine
camels, green flannels.
Yeah.
We're all those things. And it was really fun. We played the show. I guess let's start there talking about the show.
Yeah, let's talk about the show.
We played the show. Last week's episode, we were talking about how nervous we were and how it was going to be a whole clusterfuck. A shit show is from chopping it up this morning. I remember specifically, Nick sat down, Tony and I were talking about the nerves and how we weren't sure how things were going to go. And you asked what we were talking about, and I said it was the set list. And you were like, yeah, shit show.
Yeah, I think that's what we named it.
Fucking, it was the shit show, but it was so fucking good. I couldn't imagine it having gone really much better. There were definitely hiccups here and there, but...
Yeah, it was honestly, though, like, I was blown away, too, by the fact that it went so well, you know? Just because I was so nervous about my parts and everything, about doing what I was doing. And, what do we got here? I like what you think is doing.
Tony was... Tony was really the only one who was not freaking out about it. He was just like, I know my shit.
Well,
I know what I'm doing.
he was
Fuck.
he was stoked that he didn't have to like he could just concentrate on
Bass lines
his
and stuff.
his fucking parts, you know.
Right.
Which that was like huge for him, and I appreciate that. Where, you know, it's new for me to hop on that MPC and try that out.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's weird, dude? This ear has a different sound in it, and it's not the headphones. I shit you not.
Yeah, your ears are just
And
one's
this
worse
one
than the
ear.
other. I know this is my bad ear.
Talk about my ears like that.
I know it.
Say that about my ears
Well,
again, brother.
Yeah, like Nick was saying, thank you so much, everyone who came out. Kim and the fam, as always. We know we're always going to see you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
But yeah, it was really cool. It was a very, very nice energy going on in the squadrant or whatever. Like everyone was, you know, like you were saying earlier, it was kind of the first time we've ever heard like a round of applause multiple times during, you know, like each break essentially.
That was cool.
Took the time with the silence to fucking actually be like, fucking, you guys are kicking ass. It was really, really nice.
Yeah, that was cool. I think that, you know, I think maybe we had that like one time, and that was when we did played at Woodhouse, but it was like still, I think all the homies were there, but we were just reciting songs. So a song would start, song would end. Song would start, song would end. If people weren't paying attention, they didn't clap. You know, if they were, like, you'd see one or two. But at this show, if that's what we'll call it, this nice, sweet gig, it seemed like people were very responsive because I think they could tell it was like, holy shit, these kids just played for like 30 minutes, and then they stopped.
Straight, yeah.
And they were like, oh, damn, like dang, you know.
Well, and barely stopped. Shoot,
I just
think
to change
we probably
some tempo.
still had like at least some kind of noise ringing out for a minute.
Yeah, I think so. Just changing tempo, you know. I think that's really. I think we'll get better at that too. Mm-hmm. There'll be like a thing. So there's gonna be something, you know. Like, cause I think as we continue to write more too, we might be able to add, like, let's say we keep a core number. Like, we won't just write shit at that core number, but we'll write whatever we want to write. Like, you know, this is the tempo we're using. This feels good. But if it falls in somewhere near,
we'll have an index.
Yeah, if it falls in somewhere near and sounds like, fuck it, dude.
Well, that's
learn it, play it, toss it in, or we just play it like we talked about. Play the set we got.
Right.
Learn the fuck out of that until it's just beat to shit, and we know it back and forward, and then we start playing all the new stuff we've written through practices, you know?
Yeah, and I know, okay, so I know we talked about it. I know I think I'm all the way down.
What, think you're fucking the only one?
I'm, look at Tony's chair. I'm for sure all the way down.
Oh,
Anyways, what was I going to say? Shit, you cut me off, you bastard.
Oh, sorry. We were talking about
Tony
music.
was talking.
Talking
no,
about
the show.
The show.
God damn it. I'll
about
cut this.
Playing for 30 minutes,
remember.
stopping for just a second. It was...
It went away.
It was us going to Cheyenne's Hot Topic and giving them stickers so she can get out free stickers.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, positive reception and...
That wasn't it, really.
No, it wasn't. I might come back to it in a minute. But the one other cool thing was a lot of people were kind of wanting to hop in and be involved. I'm not going to name names, but, you know, some people we know really well and some new friends.
Yeah.
But Nick and I, and Tony as well, kind of all have always had the idea, the goal that we want to be basically like the Gorillas. So like Timmy Two Sticks even maybe coming back at some point, you know, for some music. You're good. Maybe even coming back at some point for something. But what basically we decided is anything that we're recording with anyone, it's Machine Mammals featuring, basically. So and that's not the end all be all, but that's sort of where we landed, like where we're at. So it would be really cool though. I feel like that frees us up to play with all kinds of different folks instead of having, you know, like a band. We've got to wrangle this guy and that dude and this lady and
Yeah.
her, sister to come do whatever the hell all these people are doing.
Yeah.
Like, because the three of us can handle it. Like, the three of us work well, and we have sort of a way we go about doing a show.
Well, even then, I think what had happened. I think that same, like, not to just cut you off.
No, you're good.
But I was gonna agree. Yes, I think we're working well, and I think that it's the fact that we've been writing new music over the past like 6 months since we kind of just were like, fuck it, we're gonna woodshed.
Yeah.
And we've figured out how to play with one another, right? In a fashion that's like got us to this like, okay, we're all kind of like understanding each other's style, and not necessarily stylistically, but like what our vibes are like. Or maybe even the music vibe. Like, we know it's going to build up. It's going to come down. There's going to be a point where somebody's going to take lead. Then that person's going to fucking shred up, shred down, let them, build up. Then they'll back off, and then it's the next person's gap,
Yeah.
It's like you said, they're trading fourths or whatever.
Bro, you know what's funny about what you just said is that was the exact thing that I was going to ask you before. Was I wanted you to, because we talked about it before, but I wanted you to describe basically sort of our new idea of how we're doing it, and you just did it very, very well. So perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. That was the thought. Was like, and I think we're just gonna get better with, like, remember I mentioned the other day. I said, what if when we just woodshed on this set? It's 10 songs basically, right?
Yeah.
And what if we woodshed on this set, and then we from there just try to write a new jam every time before we practice. There's a jam that happens, and then we normal, just like we would normally write music.
Sure.
But it's like we just continue trying to write new stuff, and now we know
more conscious of it. Yeah. That goal.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like write new stuff, but practice the set that we played on Friday and get that set down super tits. So then whenever we like go to, add new songs, we have a backup set, and then we can start. We know how we have a method now,
right,
to our madness, which is funny. We have a method before, so we can either make it ultimately dummy proof, which would be like being light bulb went off in my head, but thoughts would be like the ultimate dummy proof. And somebody wanted to hear the recited version. We want to hear just all of your songs recited, right?
Yeah,
you would just go dummy proof and do it like we were doing before.
Yes, have
where
a
lot more loops, and things are coming consecutive, one after the next.
If I fucked something up, you had it right there. You had the actual
backed up loop.
Version. Yeah.
And then from there, it's sorry. No, train of thoughts there. Don't worry. It's passing me by. So the thought was,
don't cry.
Okay, being light bulb. So the thought was, ding, you've won. So, when we transfer from song to song from the studio versions, let's say we're the Grateful Dead and we're playing our studio version.
Sure. Friend of the Devil. That's the only studio version I know of.
That's right.
By the Grateful Dead.
Yeah. Is that an album?
No, Friend of the Devil is a friend of mine. No, I'm just saying that's like their most like poppy song, quote unquote song.
Right. I was thinking. What I was thinking is that how we kind of have like a set metronome, but we've like made it ourselves out of hi-hats and like and shakers and shit.
Yeah.
Do the same thing with the actual.
I thought you were talking about the song for a second.
So did I.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got
do
lost.
The same thing with preset.
Yeah, but do the same, like have the same idea, but with like our studio versions. So then we load like 2 or 3 songs, studio versions, but they all have like the drums will end, but then the drums could always be like end and still be like meow, So there's always something.
Oh, sure. I get you.
So when we're flowing from the song to song to song,
all right.
it's still the same version. We're not jamming. Everybody's playing their parts, but it just never ends.
That's a
but you can
solid
tell,
idea.
But then we would do the same ideas. Like, dude, we didn't have any real trouble changing keys. We kind of just like ended a fucking tune and just kind of noodle down until we got our keys. And there's the same idea you were talking about for a long ass time. Like, bro, we can just change keys by noodling.
Yeah.
Same idea. Yeah.
It sounds weird, but it's like
not really,
people.
though.
I mean, well, people.
If you let things ring out.
So okay, there's weird and there's shitty, there's weird, and then there's jazz. We do it like weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't do it shitty. We are like in between jazz and weird, because most of the time I feel like when we do a cutout and we want to keep something happening, keep the energy flowing or whatever, it's me on guitar, and I have a minute knowledge of how to kind of jazz noodle.
Sure.
So I'm like, okay, this is like a relative note here that I can somehow land on, and then you just get there.
Yeah.
As long as you have enough time, you can just kind of float to that note.
Like I was saying, or like the idea of like allowing space, like we've always talked about.
Yeah.
Knowing when to shut up. It's the idea of like letting things ring out a little bit, but having like the plan, an ultimate plan of how to like, well, that thing's been on.
I just turned it on.
Great. It's touching that bear's. Where?
Jenny's.
Show me on the bear where it touched you.
Keep going. Where were you?
I was talking about how, allowing breathing space for when you are changing, like songs and keys. Really, as long as you're relatively the same tempo, we're all kind of moving around with no live drummer. Mm-hmm. We're kind of moving into the same tempo. The idea is that like you're letting things like have a delay or like an echo, like, and then you kind of just let it fade, and then you start just like weird noise in your way into the next fucking key kind of thing.
Yeah, there are a lot of interesting ways to do shit, because
there's no rule.
Right.
There is, but not really. There is if you're a fucking stickler and like, oh my God, C definitely comes, D after C, but never before B.
Well,
I made that up.
I think about it. Yeah, good rule.
You're not
fucking not.
Every boy does good in school.
I just try to think about it in like the Zappa format of like every solo should be like a painting. It should always be a fresh, like, new thing.
Sure.
And I think that
I can agree with that.
I think that
pretty good amount.
It goes the same for
maybe yes. Finish your thought.
Well, I think it goes the same for like this new way of doing shit, and being able to give someone that space to like have that crazy fucking explosion of artistic,
creativity.
Creativity is like, that's a special like bond between people, like you don't get that with everyone. You're not able to really be yourself musically with everybody that you play with. Would you tend to agree?
I agree.
Yeah. Like you and Tony and like Tim for sure, because he's my music brother. Absolutely. I've played with Tim for fucking 20 years almost. And then that's like it, dude. It's a short list. I mean, there have been others in the past, like you build those relationships and then, people move away, whatever happens. But no, dude, that's a huge thing. And that I think is a lot of the reason why I am so not on board with having another person just come be a mammal, be a band member.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's kind of like, I think that's kind of where I got. It was more or less like it's easier. We've worked real hard over these last like however many months since, like we've decided, since Tim decided that he was no longer a part of the band, which is fine.
I'd say like over a year.
Yeah, but we also stuck to a certain method before we decided that like it was basically Christmas party. We went to that party, right? And I know why that motherfucker cut us off, dog. It's because there was dead fucking sound everywhere. and it wasn't even that. You know what I mean? And it like
We never talked about that.
Yeah.
Tell the story, brief. We were all in our heads like we always are.
Yeah.
Tony was fucking really upset because he had to ride in the back of fucking Nick's
Super
whip with a bunch
hammered.
of amps and stuff.
We're not going to mention any names or people or anything like that. But let's just say we got booked. And
we were out of town. It sucked.
Out of town, and it was, the truth is it's fine, but the idea is like, you go to this party and it's more of like late night rave, people are getting fucked up kind of thing,
Yeah.
and it's like the idea is like, dead air.
We weren't prepared.
We weren't prepared for
Nope.
dead air.
For what they were expecting, we were not prepared.
And I think that's
You're absolutely right. And I hadn't thought about that, but
and
that's
I think that's
really
why
good
I
point.
changed my because I think that's why he's like 3 songs in. He's like, nah, fuck that. That's not what we need, And like I appreciate it's fucked up, but it's also one of those things where that's the kick in the ass you kind of need.
Learning experience.
Yeah.
I
But
know
it's
what you mean.
like from here on out, like it's just what it is. It's rules, bro. There is no more fucking up, There's no more like we will have an arsenal of shit that we could play for however fucking long we want to play, and people can dance or not or whatever. And it's just like everybody says, dude. We're a band that we could do 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We could do 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, what do you want?
We'll do a wedding or we'll do a wake.
Yeah, but
We
wedding,
have definitely
wake, but
played
mitzvah.
a wake. We'd love to play a wedding actually, but we did actually do a funeral. We've talked about
Yeah,
that.
we've
on
done that.
here.
That was pretty. I mean,
We've
honestly,
got some fucking shit under our belt as a band.
Yeah,
I know
already.
as individuals we do as well, but as a band, we've done some funny shit.
yeah, but I think that if. I think that was what gave me the kick in the nuts, really, to fucking make sure that when we play it again, like we did Friday, is that it was
Like Friday.
we're fucking playing like Friday.
So,
Which is cool.
That time's up, dude. Yeah, that sounds about right in my mind because it's been like, I don't know, about a year of this discussion of no fucking stopping. Mm-hmm. And it started basically with like, and I don't think Tim played with us even at the funeral, did he? Or
Yeah,
did
he did.
He did? Okay.
Oh yeah.
He
No,
did- he
those were
wasn't
his like
with- he
last
wasn't in
2,
Oakland,
I
though.
think.
Yeah, he
it was
wasn't
the
in
funeral, and then it was our friends. We did double funerals. One person asked us just to come play somebody's wake, and then my friend passed away. Murph, throw it up to Murph.
That was probably
Jeff Murph,
the
dude.
best.
Murphy, kid's a good
Yeah.
fucking guy,
Murph,
man.
Murph
Sucked.
by Murph.
Yeah, Murph
Fest.
by Murph Fest. We played that. It was for my friends. Celebration of
Yeah.
life and
Good friend.
our friend.
Our friend, yeah. Much closer to you, but I like
Good
him.
man.
I
Really,
think he's
honestly,
sweetheart.
this, you know what? Murph by Murph Fest, dude.
Fuck
That was
yeah,
a good
dude.
time.
I've got the koozie somewhere.
Doug-
I'll go get it.
Dougie Fresh
I'll
is
take it
one of
2 seconds.
Murph's good friends. He booked us. I actually should reach out and see if he's got some spots out in Houston.
Man, it's seeming more and more to me like just the reaching out. We can get stuff cooking, like.
Well, I just like that's the thing is like I think we should all just. I mean, at least you and I need to start like if you could think about it, it's like it's going out and just saying, like yo this, or we do some corner shit. Bring like a fucking sub bass and a
dude.
fucking one of those, and we just like set up and we jam on the corner. You
Bro,
know?
get out of my head. All right, so I had a dream the other night because the Lot Lizards did a very.
I had a dream.
It wasn't actually. I had a dream. It was not actually the Lot Lizards. It was me, Tim, Navaroli, and our friend Pot. And Pot's the keyboard guy.
Yeah,
and Navaroli rips at sax, as you know.
Yeah, I know.
And so Tim's playing drums, Nav's ripping on sax. We've got keyboard going. He can handle bass and all this. And I just get to like kind of shred with Navs. It was amazing. And we each made $75 in like an hour and a half or something. We were just downtown. And I had a dream like 2 nights ago.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it was Friday night I had the dream. I had the dream. And it was us doing the same thing, and we had like a van with a fucking Jenny on the back or something, and we were able to just be loud as fuck, and the cops were telling us to shut up, but the crowd was all fat.
Nice.
And people were like pouring out of what's the Abbott Square? They're pouring out of Abbott Square because there's some lame band playing. They're like, who are these guys around the corner in front of O'Neill? You know? And
Yeah.
fucking just like money getting thrown into a pot and like just everyone's
sick.
so stoked. Yeah, it was a freaking cool dream.
It was a dream.
But yeah, the thing that I know about that is that you have to go real early, and it can be very lucrative. It absolutely can.
Well, yeah.
More just getting the name out, as I know.
That was my thought.
What you were thinking, yeah.
You know, because there's youngsters there and
Mm-hmm.
like things of that nature where, you know, like, or even there's older folks, whomever. It doesn't even matter. Like, really, I found that like some of the older folk find it to be refreshing.
So,
in the fact that it's not like we sound like we sound full. It's not your normal music, but it's like an original. Like we can take it from one fucking area to the next.
All right,
and I still feel pretty original.
let me pose
Not
a
trying to
question
blow
to
ourselves
you.
or nothing. But.
I'm trying to blow myself right now. Check this out. I'm posing a new genre here. We're just, I mean, not that it doesn't exist, but I think that we're very close to modern classical music.
Like a modern classical
Think about that.
take.
Now that's sucking the ghost to your own dick.
Yeah.
It's not far from it, man. Just the fact that it is, it's all instrumental, and
But think about classical. It's like it would be like classical music would the reason why they called it classical, right? Was because
the instruments.
right.
Yeah.
So, you know, if we're thinking it's like a modern
Classical.
yeah, it's like a modern take.
Modern classical. Dude, give it
Modern
100
tronic,
years.
modern classic tronic.
No,
it's
give
not
it
gonna
100 years. We'll be classical music. We'll be in a fucking record store like Streetlight, except it won't be records. It'll be Xeno discs. It'll just be a little kiosk where you like scroll through shit and you like just download a thing.
Right.
There won't be, no one will be allowed outside, actually. You just do it all from your home.
You'll do it
But
underground.
it's like, oh, modern classical. The Machine Mammals. These guys are still touring. They're each 250, 7 years old and shit.
But the
Because
transferred
of
their
all of-
bodies into
But yeah, the robot things. No, these little guys will just be these guys.
right.
And we'll just get miniature versions of our instruments.
Yeah.
Man, this has been a great pod so far. We're killing it.
Yeah.
Shit, I had another thing I was going to say, but we're doing so good.
Miniature versions of our instruments.
All right.
Well, yeah, I think that would be cool. But I think that we should go downtown and try to at least, like, set up, get the name out, or, like, it would be cool to set up maybe, like, another sticker run here shortly after we get some of those down. T-shirts. Tony's all about his T-shirt, but T-shirts cost.
Who was saying about their friend would put... Oh, that was about Anthony. Never mind. That's another thing.
And, dude, if we're going to do a fucking T-shirt, I want to make, like, a sick-ass T-shirt, bro.
Well, the one you've got is pretty cool.
Nah, I want to do, like, a fucking new logo, like the Mechanical Cat logo. We'll post it.
Well... Oh, like... Okay.
This one? You won't be able to see this,
People
but I will
love-
show you this online.
I can zoom it in, but I'll just... Yeah, I'll find
Well,
the picture
I'll
and
pass it, yeah.
My favorite... or, sorry, not my favorite. A lot of people really, really like the leopard sticker thing. Yeah, you showed me the cheeseburger walrus.
Yeah,
fucking
that
guy.
leopard sticker is from my grandma.
Huh.
She didn't make the sticker. The print, the idea, the design. She designed it. Man, I tried calling. my
Elaborate.
grandma. So have you ever seen like Berber carpet?
Yeah.
Like it's Berber or I don't know. Anywho, point is the way
Barba.
Berber. So the way that they make this is
Is that fan gonna fuck the sound up? Probably not. It's not.
no,
big
dude.
enough.
It's
We're
really
good.
not that loud.
We're good. Okay. I just hear it because my headphones are off. I'll cut this. Berber carpet. Boy,
Don't cut it. Leave it in. So basically, it's like, let's say like it's like a square or like a picture frame, and then they stretch this like kind of canvas over it, or some type of material. I think it's like a canvas, anyways. Certain type of material, and they take this like a certain needle and a certain type of yarn or like it's basically a certain type of thread, and then they hand pop 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 they hand pull it through, and what they do is they make like designs out of it. And so if you look at that logo real deep, you'll be able to see it have texture. I didn't add that texture. That texture is there because it basically looks like a carpet. So my grandma drew that onto this canvas, and then she fucking pulled it all through, colored it, and did it all herself. So
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, so it's like hard to explain. I can't remember what it's called. I'm sure somebody who knows better than I.
It's almost like crochet.
Yeah, but it is. But it's the way crochet is they do these things, and it's with like thinner thread, you know. But it's not crochet. It's like I said, it's like this stick and poke Berber carpet deal. Right. They like make little loops.
Well, but it's a similar like
principle. Same idea, probably.
Similar principle.
Principality, son.
Well, yeah, that's human ingenuity is interesting like that because think about, bro. If you've never heard of a wheel, I don't want to do this. Never mind. If you've never heard of a wheel, and you
gotta put it up closer.
You and your brothers are fucking hauling all kinds of shit. Like, are you gonna invent the wheel? Probably not. Like, how do you think of that shit? How do you realize that you are able to make fire when you see a wildfire over there? You know what I mean? Like, I guess you could go grab a stick and if you just keep the fire going on other stuff, but how do you know to do that?
How do you know that it keeps you warm?
Well, you know it keeps you warm, but how do you have that makes you go, oh, I can use this thing that's destroying the forest right now? You know, or that giant rock rolling down the hill that's crushing my brothers is fucking, you know, that thing's useful. I can do something with that.
Right. You see things. You probably, trial and error, accidents.
Absolutely.
Say accidents are like a number one invention finder. Oh, fuck.
Bro, think about magnets. Who the fuck realized that magnets are as useful as they are? In here, magnets.
Sir Magnet of Pluto.
Yeah.
Plutonium.
That's right. Well,
dude, probably truth of the matter is wow, I bought Audio Technica headphones also. Nice. Bought them again. Why? Because they fucking last. Anyways, plug Audio Technique. So if you think about it as trial and error, right? Accidents, generally, magnets, right? Who thought of magnets? I think that, dude, the electromagnet might have been a thing too. As soon as they like realized like what magnetism was,
right?
Add a little bit of like, you know.
I mean, as soon as meaning like probably a friggin'
the generator was made or electricity.
A huge amount of time in our eyes later, because like the history of the Earth we're a blip on the fucking radar. You know,
a blip on the scale of nothingness.
Pretty much. There's been so much other shit other than us. Okay. All right. Anyways, yeah, fucking human innovation is amazing. You know, building bridges and shit, and then the fact that we know how to do stuff and people still fuck it up and people die because of it is. Think about Highway 17, bro.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
People been getting smoked on that thing for a little while.
Okay, so here was a thing. It was a news thing, and I have no details. I wish we had a Jamie. I could bust my phone out. But there was an old boy. You got enough length? Yeah, you got length. There was an old boy who worked for, I believe, the Air Force. Yeah. He was a colonel or something, and I have no fucking idea. But he was talking about, like, he disclosed a lot of information very recently about UFO shit. Okay, let's see what his deal is. Oh, do you know is the
The
Well,
Tic Tac shaped object, or
I'm
was it
talking
the
like
other guy?
super recently, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
off of CNN, right?
I figured you would have more information than I
I
do
do.
about it.
I mean, I know.
Well, can you tell me a little bit about it, what you know? Because this is one of the things I heard on one of my dumb comedian podcasts. I love you, comedians. I know we talked shit a couple episodes ago, but we love you. And I did blast Tom Segura's picture, and I
You fucking
apologize. Not
what?
really.
Apologize to that, dude. He'd probably say some shit too.
Dude, Tom Segura now, he's in shape as fuck. He would probably rock my shit. Fucking dad strength.
Tad strength.
Hanging out with Joe Rogan and shit. Joe Rogan I would run from.
Just all
That fucking towhead motherfucker.
Little
Jesus
Joey.
Christ. All right.
little Joey.
So what do you know about said...
I mean, everything that they had talked about, I had already known. But what had happened is recently there was a CNN coverage, or that's what channel it was on, what I watched, and
Okay.
it was about a 2.5 hour debriefing of basically all the intelligence info that people had on, 3 whistleblowers had on kind of what they knew about, like, one of them was a pilot who was an old U.S. Navy, I think he was a safety pilot, and basically he was coming from a safety standpoint. That's what he did in the Navy. He was somehow like a safety officer, and he started flying for some big company. I don't want us to call it Boeing, but he flew for somebody. Anyways, commercial airliners, and basically had firsthand contact with something outside of the craft. A couple times he said he had stories of people seeing things over the base, but basically everything was credible. And then the reason why he was blowing whistles was because he had multiple people come to him and say that they had almost basically gotten to, the almost crashed the airplanes because these things were like flying around him and shit and getting all crazy.
Damn.
And so more to that, there's that one guy, Graves, I think his name is. And then there was another guy, Commander Fravor.
Tell us about him.
And Commander Fravor is Navy he was a Navy pilot, I'm pretty sure, or he was part of the Air Force. And he had the most credible sighting, basically, of one of these things they called like the Tic Tac, which was like a cigar shaped kind of white UFO.
And that's basic. I don't know if it's the same footage that they released, but that is like similar, at least, to the footage that was released in, I don't know, a couple years ago or a year ago, whatever it was.
Yeah, and it was, here, what are these people's names there? I'm pretty sure it was, Commander Fravor, David Grush. He's one of the whistleblowers. Anywho, so Commander Fravor is out flying, doing some routine kind of like drills or something like that for the Navy.
Right.
So they're out doing their thing, and he said he's with like 3 other guys. He gets a call from the guys at the top, and basically saying, "Yeah, we see some weird activity. Send 3 people back. You go check out and see what that is." And he's like, "Okay." And so the other 3 dudes go back. He goes and checks and kind of looks on and sees what the Navy, air traffic controller was telling him to go look at. And so as he went out to go check, he said that he basically came up, and it was about a quarter mile or half a mile from this here Tic Tac, And he said it was clear as day, and he kind of like saw this thing hovering in the air. And he said he pulled up to it and he watched it like kind of like launch off, and so he had like got it back on radar, and then basically as he's kind of like getting this thing on radar, he said it started to jam his radar, so they couldn't catch it on radar, and then he visually like got a look at it because as he's coming, he said it was like standing still, and he started to kind of like float around it just to see what it was.
Because he's using like an F-16 or some
yeah,
shit.
he's in an airplane. He was floating around it just to
Right.
see what it was, and he said that
Reconnaissance
like,
mission.
Yeah, he could see that it was like a cigar-shaped tube thing
Floating in the fucking air over the ocean.
and then it fucking took off. And so he has one of the most credible stories. And then on top of that, he was saying that he had heard, like, basically he had told somebody, and they were like, oh yeah, that's, told somebody, some of his higher ups, and they were like, oh yeah, that shit happens all the time. But no one says anything because no one wants to lose their pilot license.
Right.
Well, so these things are starting to come up, and that Graves dude that I was telling you about,
yes.
he said that what he was seeing was a like square box that had like a sphere around it, like a clear sphere, and then that's what was flying around. And then Commander Fravor had seen the cigar-shaped tube, and I mean, if we're getting into what we've seen, there's also a, I don't even know what you would call it. I like to, my friend Tyler and I like to call it jellyfish or the amoeba, and it's because we were in San Jose working fucking 2 o'clock in the afternoon, pretty sure, sometime around then. Working, and I look up towards the western part of the mountains because we're down in Almaden at my boss's house at the time. And I look up to the mountains and I see it looks like it's like just this two kind of blobs doing like this number, floating kind of like this, and it was just floating across the sky, and that's all. And like that was what it was, and I was like, Tyler, come look at that. And I showed him, and he was like, what the fuck? And I was like, dude, that's what I'm saying. What is that? And we were both. In my head, I was like, okay, like looking for like maybe it's a weather balloon, maybe something got caught in the wind. But the way that it was, it just kind of traversed the top of the mountains, was floating around. And that was it. And it was like the wildest thing. Broad daylight, like the wildest thing.
Trip out.
Yeah. And so whatever that was, you could tell it was like, that's not normal, dude. And that was it. That's all I saw like that day. But I've seen a few things a few different times. But it's also been just,
Same here. A few different things. All right. The weirdest one, I mean, there have been a couple, like, hanging out up in Last Chance with those dudes like Satchel and Aubrey and stuff. We've been out at night and, checking out the stars, going on walks and stuff. And you see a couple weird things. But we've always explained most of it as the fact that there's Lockheed Martin, like, literally on the other, around the fucking corner, like in the other valley from them. So, like, if you're
but that's an
weird,
aerospace technology.
That's what I'm saying. If you're seeing weird aerial phenomenon, like I think we saw drones when we were like maybe 10 years old, like flying around fucking up there like crazy shit before it existed, to normal people.
Right.
Weirdest one though is, and I've seen this multiple times in multiple places. You're looking at the sky and not the stars, but the whole night sky lights up it's like you're adjusting the fucking TV set,
right.
Like you're adjusting the freaking brightness on your shit. It's the weirdest thing to see. And I remember looking, because we're all just laying there, like basically on the side of the road. And we all looked at each other like, did you guys just see that fucking shit? And because it went, whoom, it like stayed the more brighter, tone for a fucking hot second.
Right.
And then came back to exactly where it was. And we were all just like, what the fuck was that? I've seen that exact weird thing probably 3-4 times in my life. I don't recall exactly where the other ones were because that one, I was used to it, honestly, after that one. But it's always out kind of in the middle of nowhere where you can see the stars and shit. I don't know. You see weird stuff, bro.
Interesting.
I did figure out who I was talking about. Let me see this. Okay. So, let me read. Oh, it's the Ryan Graves guy. Yeah, it's the exact guy you were talking about. Testified Congress. So, the thing that I remember was part of his testimony is that, or there was some, it may not be the same man, but it's part of this whole deal because there were 3 of them, it's saying, in the Ryan Graves thing. One of those dudes was asked, do we have like, non-human life forms or whatever? And he said, like, we have non-human biologics.
Yeah.
Basically is what which could be interpreted a number of ways. It's like, yeah, we got, fish guts over here. But
right.
You know what he fucking means, bruh.
Well, he said, look, when you're watching it, they basically were, a lot of everything that guy said is he said, yeah, aliens are real.
Yep.
But I can't disclose most of everything that I've got unless it's in like a private skiff is what they called it.
Okay.
Probably a soundproof something or other, but it was skiff.
Okay.
Kept using that word. I can't speak to it right here, but if we set up the right, if the right people are there and we're in the right room where no one can fucking hear us, I'll tell you.
Why the fuck is he even telling anyone if he can't?
Because
tell
whistleblowers at the CIA, you can come out with information, but you can't. Like, the way that he described it was like he's okay to come out with this information, but people, persons, things can't be said publicly. You can give like a description of like, yeah, it's going down. Yeah, it's real. Yes, this happened. No, this didn't happen. No, I can't tell you who was there. I can't tell you where it was, but yeah, it's all real, basically. But he said, yes, I can tell you if we're in a private setting. And here's the thing. This is like, they're all testifying in front of the house. Now, if we're going like hard on this whole deal, we're going to have to look at like here soon, like what actually got passed law-wise, what happened with all of like the pedophile stuff that goes down, because like, dude,
we're back to last episode.
I feel like, I know we're not trying to get that deep, but I feel that that's what happens is they've been trickle feeding us this UFO thing for a long time. And the reality is I personally believe if we want to go on what I really believe, which I've had this thought for fucking years. And that was like when I very first was at Burning Man, okay? And everybody's like, oh, this is incredible, but it's credible. I hadn't been on any drugs, doesn't do anything. It was like early evening, probably Wednesday night, pretty sure. And I was riding one way, and I saw my friend, who I didn't recognize actually until like I looked at him again, and then like I turned around and called his name out. And he stopped, and I was like, no shit. And I was like, I didn't fucking recognize you, bro. Because he had his hair all cornrowed, and he looked all dressed up, And he's all, Nick Mari, what are you doing? We started talking, and we're having this conversation, and I see something out of the corner of my eye, and I look up, and there's this red orb above the mountain. And it's not inside of the burn. You could tell. It was like...
and it's not moving.
No.
Stationary.
Stationary.
Shit.
So it's just chilling, and I'm like, oh, fuck, look at that. And I pointed out to my friend, and... you could see that it was on the mountain peak. So there's a valley of where this whole Burning Man takes place.
Kind of a flat, right? La Playa.
And then outside of that is like, the mountains, basically.
Yeah.
The Black Rock Desert. And
that's
so
right.
I could see it above like one of these, hills. I wouldn't even call it a fucking mountain. It's a hill.
Yeah, they're not
one
too
of the
tall.
top of these hills.
Ain't 1,000 feet even.
I was
close.
looking up. Red light, orb, chilling. And then, like, I was like, bro, look at that. And we look up, and it splits into two. And I was just like, whoa, And it stayed like that. Basically up until, like, midnight when they disappeared.
Jesus.
And then, so we were like, whoa, dude, that's fucking nuts, And then he said... we both were kind of like looking for him in the sky for the rest of the time, right? And then it was on burn night, the night that they burned the man.
That's the last night, right?
Sunday's the last night, so it's a Saturday.
Okay.
And they're getting ready to torch the dude, torch him up. And I look up, and there's one right above the man, basically just chilling. I was like, no shit. Like, watched it there, stayed there basically all the way up until like, I think again midnight. I would say.
Didn't no one else like?
I'm sure
trip
people
out
did.
on it?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I'm sure people did. But I kept it to myself because I found it to be like a personal experience for some reason.
okay.
But I was just like, yeah, you know.
Just
and
between you and Tyler,
Yep.
Huh.
Me and my friend Jason.
or whatever the fuck his name was.
Jason.
Yeah, sorry.
Jason Rich.
But he did he
So-
was he as surprised
Yeah.
surprised
Oh,
as
yeah,
you
yeah.
when you guys saw it that
Oh
first?
yeah, we
when you
both
ran
have.
into him?
We've always. He's always thought I was an alien or something. He's always been like, you're an alien, bro.
I was gonna ask you if you were an alien.
I'm not. I could be though. I don't know.
I think we're all
I
aliens.
think so. I agree with that.
We come from stars. That's been proven, hasn't
But
it?
I also agree with the notion that this probably wasn't the home planet of humans. Got genetically altered into something, or it was like a. Maybe not genetically altered, but definitely there was a divine hand intervention of taking us from something into something of what we are. There's a whole story with that, and Anunnaki and so on and so forth.
Oh yeah.
It's old ancient Sumerian text. We won't
I've
go there.
heard of that.
But I was going with my personal thought of what I think was what actually is gonna happen is that they're gonna create some type of outside alien threat. You know, there's gonna be this UFO threat, and that's what's gonna unify the world because people will be like, "Oh shit, there's a hostile environment outside of the world. Let's keep the world safe." So how else do you get people to embrace
The world.
the world being a one world deal? Is that you get them to have an outside alien threat or something that's not, human, dude. And that's the thing. Like I said, this is where that story came in. When this is like 2008 or 9 when I went to that burn, and I fucking definitely was like, that's where I like went off the deep end into aliens, basically. And so I started watching everything you could fucking.
That's when you started popping
anything-
the lenses out of your
anything
glasses.
and everything, bro. I could fucking, yeah. I was like, I'm seeing the fucking world for what it is. But truthfully, that's why I started watching like as much reading, watching, looking up as much just UFO sci-fi kind of shit that you could possibly do.
Right.
And, dude, I'll tell you what, hands down, it was just like a fucking rabbit hole for like 2.5 years, bro.
Cool.
I just lose my shit for like 2.5 years, easy, solid, bro. But I came to this conclusion, and I mean, I'm still a nut over it. I watch and I pick it all up, but my conclusion's still the same, and has been forever. No matter what they come out with, it's like, okay, maybe there is some technology. Because, dude, I knew about fucking, besides Commander Fravor, I didn't know about that, dude. But I think I might have actually heard about him a long time ago, but maybe didn't really pay attention because you couldn't really. It is what it is. But,
Yeah.
Bob Lazar and shit, knew about that, dude.
Bob Laser.
Yeah.
He's the shit. Well, how about that the particle 152 or whatever the fuck it's called?
Yeah.
Like
Element 115.
that he's been talking about for 30
Yeah,
plus
because
years,
that's
and
what they
then
were
recently they've disclosed that yes, that's a thing, bro. It's just like there is a Men in Black. It is just like Men in Black. We got microwaves from those fucking aliens and shit.
Yeah.
All the stuff that we know. I mean, I believe that people are geniuses, and we can have geniuses who might be on that level, but it takes a long fucking time to figure out what the fuck a magnet's actually doing.
Yeah.
And we haven't been around that goddamn long.
Well,
You think Industrial Revolution and
I throw air quotes because we
Yeah, throw 'em.
haven't been around that long. Which
what I mean.
Well, that's pseudo. That's a whole nother thing we have. We've been around multiple times over. We've got ourselves to this point.
all right.
That's Graham Hancock right there. Check him out.
He's talking about on this planet?
Yeah.
All right.
They talk about there's been 3 major extinctions, 2 or maybe 2 major extinctions. And that dude, they found a machined screw 6,000 years old. Machined screw. Yeah. So at a certain point, you got to think, like, how the fuck do you get a machine screw if Jesus was like 2,000 years ago and they were just like pushing shit around on boulders and had slaves and
Now
shit?
this is making me go to like weird places.
Well,
Like, have
'cause-
you heard of the Siberian hellhole thing? Have I showed you that shit?
I don't know.
Don't look it up. This is some shit I'm
Well-
gonna delete. It's not. It's insane. Okay, so let me just give you the synopsis. I'm gonna leave it in. This is gnarly. The Russians back in the fucking 50s or some shit, World War II, sometime. I don't fucking know. Long time ago. They're drilling a hole just to basically see what the fuck's up with the earth. Like trying to learn shit. And they got to this point where they reached a cavity and they were like, oh, what the fuck? Like we're not drilling through anything. We're just adding 20 feet every fucking 2 minutes to this fucking thing. So they lower a microphone down in there.
Oh, I've heard of this.
And it's the scariest fucking sound you'll ever hear. Like, I literally had nightmares for weeks after listening to this shit. So don't look it up. Siberian hell sound. It's gnarly.
I've heard of it. They've go on.
Well, it's just the sound basically is like you're in a subway full of zombies and everyone's just eating each other and screaming. It's fucking terrifying. And it's been explained away as like a hoax or that, there was some weird atmospheric whatever, but a lot of people are like, yeah, that's proof of hell. They drilled into hell.
Yeah.
Or at least purgatory. Purgatory, I think, is a little more chill than that, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard that one. I don't know. What I was going with was that I have a whole bunch of theories on why shit happened the way that it happened, right?
Okay.
And my thoughts are that one world government, okay?
Oh, right. Yeah,
right?
we were talking about
Either it's a fake alien invasion to keep us all in control. It's like I said, the technology and all these other things. Like like the technology that these people have found and that these people like have recovered over time. There's one supposedly, like Bob Lazar said, that he saw an aircraft that had been like dug up from an archaeological dig. So you got to think like these things that are flying these crafts have been around for a long time.
Yeah.
So technology has been around for a really long fucking time. So what's to say that a society that didn't like... Here's my other thought. What's to say... Let's start. Let's say a society that was extremely advanced, like Atlantis or whatever, didn't just peel off and move to some part of the fucking planet that's not accessible by us. And that's where this whole flat Earth thing comes in.
Hollow Earth theory, too.
Well, that's where the flat Earth idea comes in, because then the flat Earth says that we're on a plane, right? Just an infinite plane,
right?
Of
Like
existence.
basically like a terrarium almost.
An infinite plane, yeah, like
infinite
of existence, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's like
they think that the whole like universe is flat.
well, they think that it's like a plane of existence.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
So the idea
Wrapping
is,
my head around the flatness.
well, the idea is that it's all like these beings come from a certain part of this, other part of the plane or the other part of this dimension,
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess my thought is what if that's where these beings are coming from, A, and B, because I don't really know if I believe too much in flat Earth, but I did have this thought, was what if the Earth is bigger than what, like we've only got access to these continents, and they're like, that's all you fucking get. But then like the reality is it's like this massive ball that no matter what kind of math you do, you'll never get like things flat, because it's just so fucking big. Or maybe it's just so big, it's just this huge map of like this flat disc. So anyways, that's not really what I believe, and that's not really where I was going.
Interesting theory. We should make a movie out of that.
But listen, okay. Hitler.
Yeah.
We're going there.
All right.
Okay. So the tall grays or the tall whites are these like tall gray aliens,
the
right?
tall skinny guys, yeah.
So 1937 or something like that, just right after the First World War, there was a crash in one of the German woods, and they recovered biologics and
I think I've heard that. Yeah.
and aircraft, and then they created the Foo Fighter. And so,
I thought Foo Fighters is just what they called the spacecraft that they like the UFOs basically back then in Germany.
the Foo Fighter was something that the Germans created, like they created.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's a conspiracy theory too,
Well,
or maybe it's a real thing.
no, that's real.
What is it? Okay, so keep
A
going.
disc,
Sorry,
a
I'm getting
disc-shaped
confused.
flying saucer is what they fucking made. Yeah.
That's like proven and real.
Yeah.
Would it
Recovered.
run on gas?
Foo Fighter. Look it up.
Did it run on gas?
I don't know how it ran.
Well, I'm gonna fucking call Dave Grohl right now because he's a good friend of mine.
So they recover these crafts,
Yes.
quote unquote, got in contact with the tall
Grays.
grays, a tall, white, blue-eyed, blonde-haired race. Yeah, that's what they are.
I thought they were bald and had like no skin pigment really, and
No, they're blonde. They're the tall grays.
some bullshit.
So then you think about what happened after you met the tall grays.
Okay, so then Hitler got some ideas.
Tried to cleanse the earth of the anybody that wasn't like that, so they could have a utopian society. And I swear to God that had to do with these tall gray aliens being like, "We'll give you unlimited power. We'll let you run the world, but you need to clean it." Right? Probably not, but that's a theory, because if you put all the dots together, and Hitler was huge into the occult, you know, he was huge into that. Where I'm going with this is I think that they're going to use this as a way to try to control the human race.
Okay.
I don't really believe in aliens, actually.
Let me cut you off. We're going to interject on the Hitler thing for just a moment.
I don't believe in aliens no more.
I don't believe in. We believe in nothing, Lebowski. Anyways,
Nothing.
there's a commercial. It's probably fake, but there's a commercial that you can look up on YouTube unless the government took it down. And it's not like a real thing. I don't think it's probably like a fan made content, whatever. Some amateur dude made it, but it's a thing for the Air Force, and it's a typical Air Force commercial where
yeah.
oh, my daughter went to war. You know, it's a guy drinking coffee in the morning.
That's a
and
real
he's
commercial.
In an empty house. My daughter went to war, drinking his coffee, and yeah, it's been 10 years or whatever. We haven't seen her, but we know she's doing good. We're getting her letters, and she's out there fighting the good fight. And then it like, I don't remember what exactly the fucking whole thing happens, but it like
Space Force.
yeah, it shows that fucking she is like, he's like, yeah, she's fighting out there on Kwanzaa 7 and shit. It's like, what the fuck? Why is this oh my God. And it's right up there with exactly what you're talking about, like fucking the control of her body.
Yeah, Space Force commercial.
Yeah, put that shit on. Mona wants to watch it. Mona for sure loves that I just picked her up when she was clawing the carpet to not get picked up. Me. Hi, little old lady. You want to say something? What's that thing?
Space is hard. It used to be all we had to worry about was astrophysics.
Yes.
Kepler's law, gamma rays, solar flares, rocket science, black holes, and the theory of relativity. But now we also track about 30,000 objects, moving at over 17,500 miles an hour. And our entire way of life depends on us to protect our satellites from attack day and night. Space is hard.
Guardians Wanted, Space Force.
Put on your headphones. Put on the headphones, brother.
I'm Specialist 3, Jake Robertson, and I'm a U.S. Space Force Guardian.
Lieutenant Tony Fernandez, and I'm an intelligence officer in the United States Space Force.
I'm Captain Natalia Pinto, and I'm a Space Operations Officer in the U.S. Space Force.
Well, I know Space
Captain
Force
Pierre
actually
Jones.
does exist.
I'm an intelligence officer in the U.S. Space Force.
What the fuck are
Special
these guys
Blackman, I'm a
doing,
space
though?
system operator in the U.S. Space Force.
That guy's last name was Blackman, and he was white as the driven snow.
favorite random space fact is the moon has no wind.
The ISS is traveling around the Earth every 92 minutes or so, and it's traveling at about 16,000 miles per hour.
If satellites are not going a speed of 17,500 miles per hour, they will fall out of space.
The asteroid belt is actually a failed attempt at the galaxy creating another planet. Essentially, as the planets have been spinning around the sun, those parts of the asteroid failed to come together and form one planet.
My favorite random space fact is that a satellite gets better fuel economy than a hybrid vehicle.
Nice. Why is the Space Force mission important? Oh, fuck. Why is it important? Uh-oh.
I think the Space Force mission is important. I think it's often the importance is overlooked. I think it's important because we use it in everyday life. For example, our GPS that we use every day.
The most important thing that the Space Force supports from the perspective of a civilian is the fact that we have GPS, right? And that is something that is leveraged by an individual, companies, banks, all sorts of financial institutions. And so from the outside looking in, that's probably the most important thing that we rely on. And
I
then
have
also
not seen this one, dude.
less known are the facts that, the ISS mans 3 astronauts, and also a lot of research is conducted on board. I'd recommend joining the Space Force because it gives you an opportunity to push yourself, to challenge yourself, to grow, and to become a part of something that has an impact outside of Earth's atmosphere.
If anybody is interested in joining the Space Force, to continue pursuing and never give up on your dreams.
We can kill it. We can kill it now. Jesus, dude, that's insane. That's not the one that I saw. I saw like
This is
more
Paige.
of a, even
He's
more
a
of a
9-year-old
recruiting
mechanic
commercial.
who had a Neuralink placed in each.
Oh God. He's a gorilla who rapes donkeys. He lives in
He
Colombia.
goes so hard on the donkeys.
Okay, so what that really reminds me of is, God damn it, every time I'm dropping shit. What that really reminds me of is, I think the show is called Space Force.
Yeah, there's a
Steve
show.
Carell. That's
Yeah.
a good rec.
But
If
they
you haven't
did that
seen
because
show,
they were
watch it.
fucking with old Trump there. But I mean, how comedy,
Dude, I wonder if those folks that we were just watching on there, if their classification in the military is spaceman. Because that is what it was on the show, and it was fucking awesome. And people were just like, God damn it, I'm a fucking spaceman. Lieutenant Colonel Spaceman Johnson.
Lieutenant Johnson, Colonel Spaceman.
Anyway, spaceman. Oh my God. Jesus Christ, what are we even talking about? Spacemen. So the one that I saw was a lot more like a recruit. I mean, I guess
Yeah,
that
it's
was
a
sort
recruiting.
of a
It
recruiting
says,
thing,
do you
but
want to like? It's like I could look it up.
how
Space.
to? Yeah. Oh my God, Space Force. Do you want to be a spaceman? That's the future, I guess.
Here's the thing. I don't know if it is. You know what I think the future is? Is the fact that this is fucked up. I mean, should we go there? We're going to have to go there. They fucking wouldn't
delete
pass.
Wouldn't pass what?
California's legislation didn't pass a bill that would make child trafficking or human trafficking a felony.
Oh my God, we're back to this. Fucked,
right? Because that's why I feel about this space shit. Like them trying to start a fucking war and all these things, like we need to go protect outer space. From what? Us, probably. Think about that. We need to protect outer space from us, dude. And then we need to not worry about what the fuck's out there. Maybe worry about what's going on in here and fix what the fuck's happening here. But people don't want to do that. They want to bail the fuck out on this planet and go fucking somewhere where they think that it's going to be a better fucking spot so they could take over that motherfucker too. Like, dude, that is the definition of parasite. You're like just willing to ruin the fucking host and then bail out. That's what parasites do. They don't even want to keep you alive. They're like, I'm going to fucking eat this thing till it's fucking dead and then I'm going to find something else.
No, you know why? Yeah, these people like Elon Musk want to leave Because we know more about the deep sea than you and I know.
About outer space.
No, I said that wrong. I might delete that. The government knows more than you and I about the deep sea, and there is something lying in wait down there. The mighty Kraken.
Is there actually
many.
tobacco in this thing?
I don't fucking know. Yeah, well, it's nicotine. Well, think about that, though, dude. The fact that we know more about space. Yeah, of course it is. We know more about space than we do about the, bottom of the ocean.
Yeah. Dude, I heard a good one.
Because there's for sure crazy shit down there. Like people are catching weird stuff. Like all the time since forever.
Think about this,
Jinx,
though.
you owe me a blowjob. Got him.
Got him. So, I heard that there was more. Like, this is why I don't know if I believe in flat Earth, and I don't believe that our Earth is flat. And I think it might be, like, bigger than what we're fucking actually told, because there could be, like, other motherfuckers on this bitch that they're like, yo, that's your spot. Don't even fuck come over here. Or, you know what I mean? I don't know. Point is, where I was going with that is the Earth's crust, and then they got, like, the mantle, and it gets all the way down to the core, right? Well, apparently, inside, there's, like, a certain layer, and inside that layer, there's oceans, more water locked up in minerals and salt and, like, certain deposits than there is all in our own ocean. Crazy, right? Fresh water locked up.
Is that like a fact, or is that
Yeah, it's a fact.
Huh.
Also, they bounced radar off of the center of the Earth's core.
And they found hell?
They found hell.
Cool.
Yeah.
Russian hell sound.
I got a story. Can I tell a story?
Sure.
Derail the subject a little bit?
Yeah, do it, please.
Obama's gay. No, cut that out. I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah, I haven't even gotten to that part of last week's episode.
I was joking. Point is
Michael Obama.
let me tell you about a story from when Nick was young, and he went to jail. He went to, it was like juvenile hall, basically.
Fingerlings Pick and Stick Juvenile Hall.
Yes, it's
down
in
there
Casper,
in
Wyoming.
Yeah.
Casper, Wyoming. So I show up. It's I don't know what fucking day it is. Anyways, I'm there, and I'm not there long enough. Well, I'm there long enough, but I'm not there long enough. Basically, I had to do like a week and a half or some shit. Nothing, maybe a week. Anyways, I'm there, and I don't actually have. They wasn't there long enough to be introduced to general population, so they fucking wouldn't let me do that. So they basically were like you to kick it in your little holding cell, and then you had like this like common area, and that was it. And then like a shower and a shitter, and you gotta eat some food and kick it, read some books. And my cell, not my cell mate, but like my like little like pod mate area. This guy, his name was John Wooyak. Okay. And I don't know if I was the only motherfucker in this kid's life at that point to ever be nice to him, but we're chilling, we're talking, and I'm asking him, like, why he's in there, and he's like, oh, like, I've basically has been institutionalized his whole life, and that, that he was basically waiting to go from here to, like, real jail whenever he got out of there or whatever. And it was just like, what the fuck, dude? And he's like, yeah, and he didn't kill anybody, but it was like stealing cars and fucking doing drugs and like beating a couple people up, and just fucking kid was just a nut, and, had social issues or whatever. And I was nice to him, and I was like, oh yeah, how you doing? We talking and shit, and he's like, oh, I like you, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, and we're chilling, and John went out because he could go out to general population, and I'm kicking it. And, like, he goes out for 5 minutes and then comes back, right? He could be out all fucking day. And he comes back, and he's like, oh, I want to hang out here with you. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, like, I don't like those kids. Like, I want to hang out with you. You're nice, you know. And I was just like, fuck. All right. So we started hanging out, and the guard comes back in and is basically like, John, you gotta go. You gotta go outside. Like, you can't fucking be in here. Like, you gotta go out there, you know. And he's like, oh, fuck, blah, blah, blah. And so they take him out. So the next day, we're chilling, and it's like you got to get up at 6:30, and then they give you breakfast, and you can't go out to the common area until 10 or something like that. Well, John's like, Nick, I want you to do something for me. And I was like, okay. And he's all, makes a fucking, like, rope to choke him. I shit you fucking not. And me just being, like, the squid that I am and, like, a nice fucking person, like, too nice, was just like, what the fuck? And he's all, they're going to make me go out there. And he's like, I want to kick it with you. He's all, you need to fucking put this around my neck and like, help me choke myself so I get these bruises so they think that I'm, like, doing dumb shit and they're just going to keep me in here. And I was like, why would I want to do that? Like, you should go out there, you know? And he's like, no. And he, like, puts it around his neck and he starts fucking doing it, right? And he's, like, sitting at my bed, like, by my bunk. And then it's just like, he's like, fucking choke me, you know? Choke me. And so I grabbed the fucking cloth and I, like, choke his ass, you know? And I fucking bruised up his fucking neck. But he never, ever, 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 ever said I did anything. He straight up was like, no, I did that. I fucking, like, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, John, what the fuck? Like, how many times were you going to do dumb shit like this? He's like, I don't know. I just, you know, whatever. Like, I just don't want to fucking, I don't know. He made up some fucking excuse or whatever. And they were just like, then you're kicking it in your fucking, like, in here. And he's like, oh, you know, kind of made, like, a big deal out of it. But that's what he fucking wanted.
Huh.
He, like, wanted to hang out with me. I was there for a week. He's like, yep, not leaving for a week. I was like, this motherfucker, dude.
Well, I wonder. That makes me wonder. Like, was he getting his ass whooped by these dudes out in the fucking yard or whatever?
No, because it wasn't even like that.
Hmm.
It was like a juvenile detention center, and like you went out to a common room with a TV, some games, because it's Wyoming and it's fucking however cold. All the time.
Right, gotcha.
Middle of winter. So, no, there's no yard. There's no nothing, dude. We're all fucking, like, young kids. The kid must have been, like, 16. You know, I was probably 17. So, it was just, dude.
He just had, like, you know, social anxiety or whatever, and he got along with you. Yeah, you were nice to him, like you said.
He was lonely.
That's sad.
And, yeah, it was sad. It was one of those things where it was, like, you know, you could tell, like, just by being nice to him, he was like, fuck, nobody's nice to me, you know? And he'd had, like, just wasn't, you could tell, he just didn't want to go fucking hang out with those kids, you know? They're mean to me, Ma.
Fucking Ma. What else we got? This is just all conspiracy theories so far. What time is it?
No.
Time do we start?
Mm-hmm.
How do we tell?
I'll tell you. We're doing good.
Check it out. If we need to do more time, we can, but I feel like we're probably just out there. What'd it say?
Hour 21.
Oh, we're good. Well, all right. Here, let's do a little farewell. Thank everyone again for coming.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching the pod, but
Thanks
mostly
for
thanks for
podcast.
coming to the show. We're going to be playing more shows. Thank you to Shanty Shack. We'll be blasting you guys on the fucking thing. Shanty Shack's awesome.
Shack.
Good folks there. Nice people. And yeah, to all our potential guest stars, we will be in touch.
Yes.
Friends.
Please.
And yeah, we love you all and we appreciate you.
Appreciate ya.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.
See
Boop,
ya.
boop, 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 boop.